Welcome. For those of you who I haven't had a chance to meet, my name is Anton Anderson, co-founder of Elite Resource Team. Excited for today's video. Been looking forward to this. Getting an opportunity to sit down and speak with Ray Kelly, very well-known thought leader in the industry, really does some incredible work when it comes to leadership. So why don't we just start off, Ray, for those of you who haven't had an opportunity, or those watching this who haven't had an opportunity to meet you, do you mind just kind of giving a little bit of a background about yourself and what it is that you focus on working with your clients on?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. Yeah, my background is 20 plus years in terms of leading financial advisors. I led a financial sales group and for over 20 years. And then I basically semi-retired. And when I semi-retired, I took up coaching, because one of the things I semi-retired to, because I basically tell people my values were out of whack, not the company's values, but my highest value. And I was finding I was spending little or no time with my family. They were between the ages of 7 and 14 at the time. And so I kind of semi-retired, but they went to school from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then I was like, what the heck am I going to do with my time? And that's when I decided to build a consulting or coaching business, because what I enjoyed the most in my career as a executive for a financial institution was developing leaders. I had quite a track record of developing leaders. So that's what I did. I built a coaching business, and that's what I do now, is help professionals in a lot of different fields, but predominantly in the financial services industry, just because people know me there, but helping them build a leadership culture within their teams.
Perfect. So 20 plus years of leadership coaching, developing within the financial services space. What have you seen as some of the major shifts over the last, say, 5 to 10 years when it comes to financial advisors, wealth managers, accountants, CPAs, et cetera?
I think the biggest change in my estimation, and it leads to a lot of these other changes, is the client expectation. Client expectation of what they expect from their financial professionals is so different. It's kind of like what we expect from service in terms of delivery from Amazon. It used to be these things you had to go leave your home, or if you ordered it online or something like that, it would take days, if not weeks, to get to you. Now all of a sudden it's showing up the same day or the next day. The expectation of the client is just evolved just as rapidly, if not more rapidly, in our business. And quite frankly, what I've seen is companies who have responded well. Sometimes it's with technology changes. The enhancements in technology are just extraordinary. Products and services have changed. The ability to meet that client expectation is one of the biggest demanders. And quite frankly, you're seeing a change in terms of the structures of these professional organizations, where it used to be predominantly solo contributors, people running a solo CPA practice or financial services practice, are now joining teams just to keep up with the speed and demand of expectations. It's probably the biggest changes I've seen over the last 5 to 10 years.
Interesting. And so does that trend continue? Where do you think in other words, what does this look like in the next 5 to 10 moving forward?
Yeah, I think it speeds up.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go even faster. When you think about the aging of the client base, and also the aging of the professional base, so CPAs, financial advisors, we're basically just like our client base. The average age is getting closer and closer to retirement. Okay, so what they're seeing in the industry is a consolidation of whether it's at the firm level, but definitely at the practice level, into more and more teaming. Also in terms of technology, the technology you're going to see in the next several years, I've seen some presentations from some of my clients that are about, this is what's coming, blows your mind away when you talk about artificial intelligence, virtual reality, some of that stuff. If you're not on top of this stuff and willing to accept this stuff, it's going to blow by you, because the clients are going to start to expect it. So I think it's only speeding up. It's not slowing down.
Yeah, so interesting. So it kind of moves from like a novelty to an expectation in a way.
It's already the expectations, whether the advisor, the CPA, the financial professional knows it or not. Mm-hmm. One of the things that they've seen in the industry, Anton, over the last 5 years is the highest attrition of high value clients ever. Okay. just in the last 5 years, attrition level of your best clients, they're going other places. Now, this is at the end of 11-year bull market. Okay, when you have a bull market, people stay with you more often. They don't make changes, but they're moving the last few years, and it's because some firms, some individuals haven't kept up with the client expectation, and the clients are going, I'm leaving. And I think with the last downturn in the market due to the pandemic and everything that's going on, it's only going to accelerate it. If you don't have a business model that serves their expectations, they're living longer. They need professional advice for a lot longer. They're going, it may be time to make a change. They're looking around.
Interesting. So I think that's kind of a nice caveat into your area of expertise with leadership development. How does that, from your perspective, how do those two mesh, the client expectations and the leadership opportunity for the advisors and the accountants?
Yeah, great question. Because when I think about the next decade, I've seen all these charts that just continue to show for the next decade, we're still going to have a record number of boomers retiring every day. Okay. When people go into retirement, they don't need less of our advice. They need more of our advice. Okay. People are dealing with retired clients. It doesn't go away. Just because they're not adding more money into their accounts, they actually need you even more. The number of financial professionals that are retiring over the next 15 years is that they're predicting anywhere between 45 and 50% of the people in our industry plan on retiring. Now, our industry is a little bit different than a professional baseball player, okay, or a professional football player. When they retire, they're usually on the downslope of their career. When a CPA, an insurance professional, financial advisor, investment advisor retires, they're often at the peak of their understanding and knowledge. Okay, so when they retire, and consider all of you watching this thing, think of your business, your practice being, you were 23 years old. Could you have done it? Like, I've watched people shake their heads and go, that would be scary. That's the difference between, okay, the first baseman who's 40 years old retires and the 23-year-old person comes up from AAA. Usually that 23-year-old person can play first base at a pretty high level. They may not have the mind yet, but usually productivity doesn't go sinking down. It actually increases quite rapidly. It isn't the same in our business. So at the same time, the boomers retiring at a record rate. You put these two things together, the expected growth rate in our industry is extremely high. It's double digits for the next 10 years on a per advisor basis on the revenue line. There's what an opportunity, double digit. And we have this obligation to serve these people. Now, here's the thing. Investment News, Moss Adams did a study a few years ago asking 300 of the RIAs what the expected growth rate was over the next decade because of these things. And the expected growth rate on average was 14% per year per advisor. Holy smokes. And if you know the rule of 72, that basically says your business is going to double every 5 years. So if you're doing $1 million in revenue, in 5 years, you'll be doing 2 million. And in 5 more years, you'll be doing 4 million. And the question I ask people all the time, Anton, is this: do you think 4 million is more work than $1 million? And the answer is it is, because I've worked with firms that are even bigger than that. And they have a lot more people at the $4 million firm than the $1 million firm. Okay, it is more work. The next question I ask the leaders of those organizations: you personally, would you like to work more hours? I've not had one hand go up. Okay, so part of the answer to your question is key variable in my estimation. If you want to take advantage of this opportunity, fulfill this obligation, it's leadership. You will have to learn how to get the work done through others. Otherwise, you'll kill yourself. Okay? And the leadership, back to that old game Jenga, is the key Jenga block. It's like the foundation of the next decade plus if you want to be successful, because teaming is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? How do you effectively lead these teams? And what I found professionals is they've created a career, a profession. They're a professional CPAs, professional investment advisors. They're not necessarily professional leaders. And it's going to be the key Jenga block over the next 2 decades. And that's what I'm going to talk about at the conference in November, is that exact thing, is how to create a leadership culture. Give you some models and tools that will help you, but it is a profession. You know, you have to make a conscious choice going, okay, kind of like Bo Jackson, I'm going to do both. I'll play football and baseball. It's really hard to do 2 professions at once.
Interesting. And so in that analogy of play football and play baseball, is that the analogy of being a financial advisor and being a good leader of a good financial advisory firm?
Yes. It's most people haven't had years and years of experience on both. One of the things, kind of an element that I've seen, there's a correlation. Some of the best financial advisory firms that I've seen are ex-leaders. They used to be in the leadership role for years and years and years, and they went back to just some of their personal practice. So they may have had a decade of experience, and that's one of the reasons why they had success, is they know how to get work done through others, put systems and processes in place, not only to process the work, but to develop their people, feedback, challenge them, help them grow, all of those different elements, which would attract me if I were a young person. I want to go to the organization that's got the best track record of developing people or developing leaders. And that's going to be a key variable for having one of these, successful firms in the future.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense as I hear you say that. And I can see scenarios where good advisors have thought, I'm a good advisor, therefore I can build a good team of other good advisors and just grow something incredible. Or likewise, accountants that think, I'm great at accounting, I'm good with clients, therefore I just need to hire more people and grow a company. But actually, as I think about what's been the ceiling that stopped them, I think it is oftentimes the fact that they don't understand and haven't really developed that leadership role for themselves, but then also the other individuals at their firm.
Yeah, it often isn't as simple as they think. Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's the ability to get that best effort out of those people, to get them to continue to grow when they're actually thinking, hey, I want to kind of cruise here now. And it's back to, how do we have specialization and give up some certain roles, and the ability to see what's going to happen in the future and set up your firm to take advantage of those wins is a key part of that leader's role. And when you have been scripted for years and years and years, if not decades, that your value is by seeing clients, bringing in new clients. Often those firms have a hard time having one of the people or multiple people step out of that role and lead. Okay, because I see a lot of people try to do it both. And some of them, they will succeed up to a certain level. I call it their shoulder width. And all of a sudden their shoulders start to shake because they're going, I can't see 100 clients at the same time lead this group of 25 people. It's okay. And the key answer is you have to develop other leaders.
Yeah.
It's one thing to developing a client base. It's completely different to developing a leadership culture.
Sure. Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm looking forward to the discussion, because we've had a number of these conversations just within our own, internal community, and sometimes the advisors or accountants have 1 or 2 staff members, and that kind of works. But then it gets to a certain point, like I said, where it hits a ceiling. And we've gone from, just 2 of us to 20 of us or so in a 4-year period. And so I've felt that inadequacy in my leadership skills personally over the last few years. So very much looking forward to the discussion.
Yeah, I look forward to it as well, and seeing everyone there. It's my passion. You guys, you'll see it come out big time. This is the area that I know, is how to create and develop a leadership culture and develop leaders.
Sure.
Yourself as you try to fulfill your vision for your business.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, Ray, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you at the Elite Growth Academy. Thanks everyone for watching the video.